Good afternoon, sports betting fans. This is Hardaway's Mike with SBI. It is Sunday. It is beautiful outside, a little humid, but we are coming at you with some great sports betting information because we have a lot of sports to get to today. We've got the World Cup knockout round in continuation. Of course, we have Major League Baseball. We've got NASCAR. We've got the Leagues Cup. I don't know if you watched that game on Friday, but I'll get to it with Messi. What Messi doing is just incredible. But let's take a look around Major League Baseball and see what we have going on. Bunch of early games, bunch of afternoon games, and one night game as per usual for the Major League Baseball Sunday slate. We've got the Braves and the Mets as the late game. I'll get to that in a little bit, as well as our series spotlight, the Rangers and the Giants. But first of all, right now the Cubs are up over the Blue Jays in the first inning, 2-0. That's in Toronto. Tigers are losing the Red Sox 3-6. Athletics over the Nationals 3-1. Twins up over the Phillies. Reds and Pirates are tied at 0-0, as are the Marlins and the Yankees. And the Guardians have a one-run lead over the Rays in the second inning. Let's look at some games coming up, starting with the Angels and the Astros. That game here, we've got Jose Urquidy on the mound for the Astros. He has a 2-2 record with a 6.10 ERA. This is direct from our MLB Today page. For the Angels, you've got Chase Saleth on the mound. He's got a 3-1 record with a 3.72 ERA. And because of that, it looks like, well, the Angels are the dogs in this one. Let's go over to our MLB game board here, and we can see that, the Angels are the dog in this. They're plus 125 over on Bet Rivers. If you don't have Bet Rivers, you can get them at plus 120 over on FanDuel Sportsbook. You want to back the Astros? This is in Houston. You can back them for minus 135 over on DraftKings, or you can get that at Caesar Sportsbook at minus 135 as well. Other games on the slate. We've got the Orioles and the Mariners. As you know, as the people listening to this know, I'm a big Orioles fan. I've got them to win both the AL East and the AL this year at good odds, so let's hope they can continue their winning ways. Let's see here. We'll find that game. And the Orioles are the favorite in this, barely the favorites. They're on the road, but the minus 110, basically across the board, except for minus 115 in a couple plays. You can get that at that minus 110 at DraftKings, FanDuel, PointsBet, Caesars. If you want to back the Mariners, you can get that at minus 104. So they're barely the dog there at Bet Rivers Sportsbook, minus 105 over on BetMGM. If we go over to the Today page, we got Bryce Miller on the mound for the Mariners, 7-4 record with a 4.20 ERA, versus Kyle Bradish, 7-6 record with a 3.19 ERA. For the D-backs and the Padres, that game is at 3:10. Padres are on the road, so the Diamondbacks are at home. Brandon Pfaadt on the mound for the Diamondbacks, 0-6 record with a 7.16 ERA. Not a great year for him. Versus Seth Lugo for the Padres, 4-6 record with a 4.19 ERA. And looking at the game page, we could see that the Padres are where did that go? I just had it, folks. 1 second here. The Padres are the favorite, minus 139 over on Bet Rivers Sportsbook versus plus 120 for the Diamondbacks over on DraftKings Sportsbook. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the night game, the Braves and the Mets, an AL East showdown here. For the Braves, you've got, let's see here, Yoni Chirinos on the mound for the Braves. He's got a 5-4 record this year with a 4.83 ERA. Versus for the Mets, Kodai Senga at an 8-6 record with a 3.24 ERA. And he's actually striking out almost 11 batters per 9, giving up less than 1 home run per 9 there. This game is in New York. And on our MLB game page, we can see that the Braves are the favorite in this right now, minus 132 over on Bet Rivers Sportsbook versus plus 115 for BetMGM for the Mets. Now, what's interesting about this one is this opened at minus 118 for the Mets on DraftKings, and now the best line you can get is plus 115 at Caesars, PointsBet, and BetMGM for the Mets. So this one has flip-flopped because the Braves were minus 102, and now they're minus 132. So it did move quite significantly here. So the Braves are the favorite in this. It is in New York, but if you want to back the Braves, you got to pay a little bit. On to our series spotlight this week. It's the last game in the series for the Giants and the Rangers. As I had mentioned previously, we've got the NL West second place Giants versus the AL East. Let's try that again. We've got the NL West second place Giants versus the AL West first place Rangers facing off today at 3:05 p.m. Central Time. We'll go to our Today page and we'll see we've got Logan Webb on the mound for the Giants. He's got a 9-9 record, a lot of starts under his belt this year. 3.38 ERA, giving up or striking out almost 9 batters per 9, giving up just about 1 home run per 9 and 8.34 hits per 9 versus Dayton Dunning, the veritable starter for the Rangers here. 9-4 record with a 3.21 ERA. Very good this year. 6.34 Ks per 9 and just under, 0.82 home runs per 9 and giving up 7.83 walks per 9. This game is in San Francisco, as the previous games have been in, and the Giants are the favorite in this, likely due to the pitching matchup. So if you want to back the Giants, you can get them at -130 over on BetMGM. Next best to that is -132 over on BetRivers. Alternatively, if you're backing the Rangers, +115 on PointsBet or Caesars Sportsbook. Otherwise, you can get that at +114 at DraftKings and FanDuel. Digging in a little more closely, consensus lines have this at 8.5 total runs, although it is shaded to the under here. As I mentioned, our best lines there for the two money lines. If we look at the run lines, Giants -1.5 is the standard run line, +163 on BetRivers if you want to back that. Or if you want to get a little bit of run insurance for the Rangers, +1.5 at -184. So expensive to do that, but you can get it -184 over on FanDuel. As I mentioned, over/under 8.5, shaded heavily to the under here. -125 on BetMGM and -130 on FanDuel and BetRivers. But you can get it at under 8.5 at -118 over on DraftKings Sportsbook. Alternatively, if you're backing the over 8.5, you can get plus money. +107 on BetRivers, +105 at MGM, and +104 on FanDuel. You do get to pay -102 there on DraftKings. If we tease this the other way, we'll go with the Rangers -1.5. You can get that at +190 versus the Giants +1. That's over on FanDuel Sportsbook versus the Giants +1.5 on BetMGM. And if we dig into these money lines a little bit, let's pull up the Giants -130. So this opened up actually at -145 yesterday afternoon and has been bet down all the way to -130 right now. Alternatively, if we look at the money line movement for the Rangers, this opened at around the same time, a little early actually, +120, and then it has been bet to +115. So not a lot of movement there for the Rangers, but they are the dogs in this. Right now, we've got a projected score of Giants +4.75 to the Rangers 3.75. Now, that doesn't mean much, but our projected chance to win have the Giants at 57% versus the Rangers at 46.5% there. Let's look at some player props for this game. We'll pull up, let's see here. Let's go over to our MLB player props page, and we'll pull up a couple of guys here, a couple of well-known guys. Let's look at Marcus Siemens' hits lines. You can get, let's see, his hit line is at 1.5. You can get it at a few different places, but the best value is +175 over on FanDuel Sportsbook. Alternatively, you can get that at +155 on DraftKings or +150 on BetMGM. So very good number there. Or you can get his hits plus runs plus RBI over on DraftKings at +125 there for Marcus Siemens. He is on the Rangers, as a reminder. And let's look at one guy on the Giants. J.D. Davis? Yeah, let's take a look at J.D. Davis. Davis hits. Okay, so his hits line is at 0.5. You can get that at, it's big minus money, -175 over on FanDuel. Or you can get +340 for his over 1.5 hits over on FanDuel as well. So not bad there. If you want to hit his hits plus runs plus RBI, that's -110. So near even money there on over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBI for J.D. Davis over on DraftKings. Either one of these teams really hits the long ball too much. But let's look at one guy. Let's see here. How about Jock Peterson? He does hit the long ball. He's over on San Francisco. Home runs. That Pederson. That's a P-E-D-E-R, folks. Don't let your home runs over. Let's see. Don't let your autocorrect get you there. So, all right. So, let's see. Point plus, no outlier here. +475 on BetRivers. BetMGM, apologies. +480 on FanDuel. And then +500 on DraftKings and PointsBet. So, no real outlier here. Looks like I'm going to stay away from any dinger props on this game. The best lines that we're finding just don't look like they're huge outliers in this game. I do like a couple of guys. I like Garcia. I like him to hit home runs. He's usually a Garcia, let's see, 600 on FanDuel, so a little bit of an outlier. 550 on DraftKings and 550 on points, but I might dig in a little bit more, but probably going to lay off any dingers on this. We do have Dinger Tuesday coming up on Tuesday. That gives me plenty of dinger action. But yes, so that is our series spotlight for this week. The Rangers and the Giants. That game is at 3:10 p.m. Moving on over to, let's see here. Let's go over to the PGA. The FedEx, what's the name of this tournament? Apologies there. The FedEx St. Jude Championship at TPC Southwind. Right now, the leaders have yet to tee off. We got Lucas Glover. He's got a one-stroke lead at 14 under. Right under him, you got Taylor Moore at 13 under. And right under him, you got Tommy Fleetwood at 12 under. Jordan Spieth and Max Homa and Sungjae Im are all at 11 under. And then you got a few guys there at 10 under. So a lot of the 10 guys have teed off. Spieth teed off, but these other 4 have not teed off yet. They'll tee off here very shortly. Right now, if we look at the odds over in DraftKings Sportsbook, Lucas Glover is the favorite at plus 230. Tommy Fleetwood at plus 360. Taylor Moore at 400. And then Max Homa at 750. Jordan Spieth at 900. I might throw a little bit on Tommy Fleetwood. 2 strokes back. Seems like he could certainly make that up. I'm not sure how much Lucas Glover's game is going to play today, but he shot a 66, 64, 66. Tommy Fleetwood's been as consistent as it comes, 66, 66, 66 across the board. We'll see who ends up on top of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. And then next week, of course, we have the BMW Championship, which we are very, very excited about. Over to the Leagues Cup. I'm not sure if you're watching this. I have not been. I should be. I've only been betting on Messi to score, and it has been paying off in spades. He has 8 goals in 5 games. Inter Miami just won 4-0 over Charlotte FC on Friday night, and they're moving on to the semifinals in the Leagues Cup. Incredible. It's incredible what Messi is doing this year. He is coming to play Chicago Fire in October, and I am going to do everything in my power to go and see it just because I got to be able to tell my grandkids that I went and saw Messi when he was on his absolute tear in the United States soccer world. So right now, the Leagues Cup, we got 4 teams left. Inter Miami's the favorite to win at plus 150, Monterey at plus 250, Philadelphia Union at plus 330, and then Nashville FC at plus 400. These games are on Tuesday night for Philadelphia Union versus Inter Miami. Miami's the favorite at that, plus 115. And then at 8:30 for Monterey versus Nashville FC. Monterey's the slight favorite at that, plus 140 versus plus 190 for Nashville FC, plus 235 on the draw. I hope you're watching the World Cup. It has been exciting to say the least. The Women's World Cup has been a stellar tournament so far. We had incredible upsets. Saturday night, France ends up losing to Australia. It was 0-0 tie at the end of regulation. They lose in penalty kicks, 7-6. Australia moves on. England ends up winning over Colombia 2-1. That game was never really in doubt. We're down to 4 teams. Don't do what I did. Make sure you are checking the dates of the games because I stayed up until 3 a.m. last night hoping to catch Spain and Sweden, and that game is not until Tuesday. So lost out on a little bit of sleep. I did, but we've got games on Tuesday and Wednesday. Those are the semifinal games. We've got Spain versus Sweden, and then Wednesday you've got Australia versus England. If we look at the favorites to win, Spain is now the favorite to win at plus 160. England right behind them at plus 190. I've got money on both Spain and England, so I'm pretty happy about that. Australia and Sweden at plus 400 and plus 425. I'll have to do the math and see if I want to make some futures wagers as hedges there. I'm not quite sure yet. If we look at the game lines, Spain is the favorite versus Sweden, plus 105 versus plus 280 for Sweden. The draw is plus 215. And then Australia is the dog versus England. England's plus 120. The draw 205. And then Australia 245. We have football coming up very, very soon. We've had a bunch of preseason games, as I had mentioned. I think we've got one game going on right now today, and then we've got the Chiefs and the Saints, and then we got the 49ers and the Raiders, and we got regular season starting soon, and then Saturday, August 26th, we are 12 days away, folks, 12 days away from Notre Dame versus Navy. It is the first start of NCAA football season. We have a lot coming up. Don't forget to check out what we have going on over on the site, sportsbettingintel.com, over on social media at SBIntel on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We are all over the place. We are promoting the hell out of this because we have so much coming up for football season. We are excited to share it with you. And then we do have I do want to bring up a couple of plus EV bets before I close out for today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, folks. We have a lot of sports coming up. Let's look and see what the slate looks like for tomorrow. It's probably a smaller slate for baseball. Yeah, it looks like it's 9 games there. And then Tuesday, of course, we got a full slate with Dinger Tuesday on the docket. But a couple of quick plus EV bets to leave you. One for our series spotlight, the Rangers versus the Giants. If you want to go heavy on this, you can go over 13.5 on FanDuel at plus 680. That's a plus 4.7% plus EV bet. That's again plus 680 for over 13.5 runs on FanDuel, 4.7. If you're not as keen on throwing on 680, I can also offer you the tomorrow's Wolves versus Manchester United. Yes, the English Premier League match day 1 did start this week. And tomorrow we've got Wolves and Manchester United. If you want to take over 4.5 runs, again, I'm doing it, over 4.5 goals there on Bet Rivers. That is plus 370 and plus 3.98% plus EV. Again, that bet is over 4.5 goals at Bet Rivers in the Wolves versus Man United game tomorrow afternoon, Monday, August 14th, 2 o'clock p.m. That's it from me today. If you have anything that you want us to talk about sports betting wise, I know we didn't even cover match day 1 this weekend, but there's just way too much going on. We'll cover match day 2 next week for sure as it comes up. My name is Artis Wyke. As we say over here at SBI, you don't always have to bet, but when you do, wager wisely.